Command Sergeant Major Michael Roberts enlisted in 1981, and after training as an MI systems maintainer, he was assigned to the Counterintelligence Signal Security Support Battalion of the 902nd MI Group at Fort Sam, Houston. Thus began a 30-year Army career of an MI professional dedicated to the highest principles of leadership. Command Sergeant Major Roberts spent many of his early years in Germany, first attached to the Division Automation Management Office of the 3rd Infantry Division, with sole responsibility for maintaining the Division Tactical Operations Center and associated intelligence and automation equipment modernization efforts. He also served as platoon sergeant at Field Station Berlin, where he provided excellent leadership and training support for the maintenance mission. Roberts then spent several years at Fort Huachuca, serving as the first sergeant of the 306th MI Battalion, Battalion Sergeant Major for the 304th MI Battalion, Sergeant Major for the Intelligence and Electronic Warfare Test Directorate, and Command Sergeant Major of the 309th MI Battalion. These assignments were broken up by a one-year tour as First Sergeant for Company A, 3rd MI Battalion, Camp Humphreys, Korea. Beginning in 2005, he served 2.5 years as Command Sergeant Major for the 504th MI Brigade at Fort Hood. Command Sergeant Major Roberts was the driving force in reevaluating the brigade's mission and mission essential task list, incorporating lessons learned from the brigade's Iraq service into its deployment preparation plans, and then deploying the 504th again to Iraq.
The 2.5 years that I spent at Fort Hood getting the 504th ready to go to combat operations and then deploying the brigade and not losing a single soldier to combat injuries. We did unfortunately have 3 soldiers that lost their lives during our deployment time frame, but none of them were due to enemy conflict. But taking 1,600 soldiers downrange and bringing all of them back was one of the things that I'm most proud of.
CSM Roberts' actions were instrumental in the brigade's ability to provide timely and actionable intelligence to the battalion, brigade, Division, and Multinational Corps Iraq commanders using human signals and imagery intelligence collection assets across the entire Iraq theater. This included the integration of Task Force Observe, Detect, Identify, and Neutralize, ODIN, into the organization in support of the Counter-Improvised Explosive Device, IED, effort.
MI Corps is always out front. We're making a difference. You know, I think there was a mindset many years ago that MI soldiers just sat in the background and weren't engaged in enemy contact, and nothing could be further than the truth. MI soldiers today are out there with combat soldiers doing human collection operations and different operations to make a difference in the overseas contingency operations and contributing to the fight.
Command Sergeant Major Roberts began his culminating assignment as the Command Sergeant Major for the 111th MI Brigade at Fort Huachuca in January of 2008. In addition to transitioning the brigade's drill sergeants to platoon sergeants, he oversaw the complete revision of the brigade's initial entry training and professional military education in light of an unprecedented increase in student load. Key to this revision was the integration of enlisted, non-commissioned officer, and officer students into realistic training exercises to replicate the working environment in Afghanistan. He was a critical force in the development of MI's newest generation of military technicians and leaders.
Training soldiers to make sure soldiers survived and won on the battlefield for the first nearly 2 decades that I was in the military. We were doing a lot of training missions. There weren't a whole lot of combat missions going on. And then 9/11 happened, and it became very real for everybody real fast on the things that we were doing. So making sure the soldiers were prepared and understood the importance of what they were doing and could withstand the test of battle was a very real challenge.
Lieutenant Colonel James Chambers, U.S. Army retired, nominated Command Sergeant Major Roberts to the MI Corps Hall of Fame, citing his stellar military career over 3 decades. Chambers went on to state, "Roberts, more than any other soldier I have known, has been the model of an always out front ethic of the Military Intelligence Corps. His dedication, loyalty, and pride in our Corps are exemplary. His legacy lives on in the thousands of soldiers he shaped, molded, and mentored during his career." Command Sergeant Major Roberts and his wife Delinda reside in Sierra Vista, Arizona, and have 3 adult children, Kelly, Greg, and Martin.